The first steps, 2030 to 2080. The dawn of interplanetary civilization. The year 2032 marked the beginning of humanity's permanent presence beyond Earth. The Luna 1 base, a collaborative effort between NASA, SpaceX, China's CNSA, and the European Space Agency, became the first fully functional moon colony. It started as a barren outpost, a cluster of inflatable modules protected by regolith shielding. But in time, it expanded. Fusion reactors provided power, ice deposits at the poles were mined for water, and hydroponic farms grew the first lunar crops. Humanity had taken its first small step toward becoming a multi-world species. But the moon was never the goal. It was a stepping stone. By 2045, the Ares Initiative launched the first wave of settlers to Mars. They landed in New Olympus, a settlement in the shadow of Olympus Mons. These early Martian pioneers were scientists, engineers, and adventurers, but they faced brutal conditions. Solar radiation, sub-zero temperatures, and the thin atmosphere made survival a constant battle. Every breath of oxygen, every sip of water, every meal had to be extracted, recycled, or delivered from Earth at great cost. The first generation of Martian settlers lived in underground habitats, shielded from cosmic rays. They built structures from Martian regolith, used algae bioreactors for air purification, and developed robotic automation to expand the colony. Yet, for all their efforts, Mars was still a hostile, alien world. The first Martian death came in 2051. A faulty airlock seal led to decompression, killing 4 settlers. Earth mourned, but the mission pressed on. By the 2060s, technology advanced rapidly. AI managed self-replicating machines, accelerated Martian construction. Space elevators and asteroid mining operations made interplanetary logistics cheaper. The first Martian-born human arrived in 2067, a symbol of humanity's perseverance. The child, named Leo Armstrong Zhang, was the first of a new generation, one that would never know Earth as home. Meanwhile, Earth's control over its off-world colonies began to fray. By the 2070s, corporations like Helios Corp and Olympus Industries controlled asteroid mining, space stations, and lunar trade routes. Tensions rose as Martian settlers demanded self-governance. The first whispers of Martian independence surfaced in underground forums and encrypted broadcasts. In 2079, the O'Neill Exodus began. The first O'Neill cylinders, massive rotating space habitats, became self-sustaining, housing millions in Earth's orbit. These structures, complete with artificial gravity, agricultural domes, and city-like infrastructure, signaled that humanity was no longer tied to planets. By 2080, humanity had outgrown its cradle. Earth was no longer the sole home of mankind. There were people who lived their entire lives on the Moon, Mars, and in orbiting colonies. The idea of Earthborn and spaceborn humans became more than a distinction. It became an identity. As the 21st century neared its end, the question was no longer if humanity would become a spacefaring civilization. The only question left was how far we would go. The age of expansion, 2080 to 2150, beyond the solar cradle. By 2085, Mars was no longer a struggling colony. It was a thriving world. With over 5 million residents, its underground cities expanded into domed surface settlements. Terraforming efforts had begun, utilizing vast atmospheric processors to release trapped carbon dioxide and thicken the planet's thin atmosphere. Though still unbreathable, the skies above Mars darkened from pale blue to a deeper, dustier red. The dream of a green Mars, though distant, was no longer just science fiction. But Mars was only the beginning. With fusion propulsion revolutionizing space travel, humanity spread deeper into the solar system. The first Europa station was established in 2098, built above Jupiter's icy moon. Drilling through Europa's frozen crust revealed an ocean teeming with microbial life. The discovery confirmed humanity's long-held belief: life could exist beyond Earth. Scientists debated ethical concerns. Should we terraform Europa and risk contaminating an alien biosphere? Or should it remain untouched, a sacred monument to the universe's mysteries? While the debate raged, expansion continued. By 2110, Titan and Enceladus hosted permanent research stations. Asteroid belt mining had become a trillion-dollar industry, with corporations establishing floating cities around Ceres and Vesta. These cities, built from the very metals they extracted, became hubs of trade, wealth, and power. Yet, prosperity bred conflict. By 2130, Mars, now home to 50 million people, demanded independence from Earth. The Martian Accord, meant to keep Mars under Earth's control, became a source of rebellion. Martian leaders, born under lower gravity and unfamiliar with Earth's political dominance, saw themselves as pioneers, not subjects. Corporations played both sides, funding Martian separatists while maintaining contracts with Earth governments. In 2142, the first true interstellar mission was launched. The Odyssey, a massive generation ship carrying thousands in cryosleep, set course for Proxima Centauri, the nearest star system. Powered by antimatter propulsion, it would take 50 years to reach its destination. The mission was both hopeful and controversial. What awaited humanity beyond the solar system? Would we find habitable worlds? Would we find something else? By 2150, humanity was no longer just a solar civilization. The vast network of O'Neill cylinders, Martian metropolises, and Jovian research stations proved one thing. We had outgrown our homeworld. Yet, as humans pushed further into space, a realization settled in. Earth was becoming an afterthought. Once the heart of human civilization, it was now a distant dot in the sky to those born on Mars, Europa, or in deep space stations. The frontier had changed us, and it was only the beginning. The interstellar renaissance, 2150 to 2200. The galactic seedlings. In 2161, after nearly 2 decades in deep space, the Odyssey reached Proxima Centauri b. The first interstellar settlers awoke from cryosleep to an alien world, tidally locked, with one side bathed in eternal daylight and the other in perpetual darkness. Between them lay the Twilight Zone, a thin band of habitable land where humanity's first extrasolar city, New Horizon, was founded. For the first time in history, humans stood beneath the light of an alien sun. Meanwhile, back in the solar system, the speed of progress accelerated. In 2173, a breakthrough in quantum field propulsion allowed the first faster-than-light, FTL, travel, cutting interstellar journey times from centuries to mere decades. No longer bound by generational ships, humanity exploded outward. By 2185, settlements stretched across Alpha Centauri, Tau Ceti, and Epsilon Eridani, forming the backbone of the United Systems Alliance, USA, a coalition of human worlds linked by fragile treaties and shared ambition. Trade routes formed between star systems, carrying advanced AI, genetically modified crops, and exotic minerals. Then, in 2192, humanity encountered something unprecedented: alien life. A survey team on a moon orbiting Tau Ceti 4 found towering structures of crystalline lattice, humming with unknown energy. Days later, they discovered the builders, an intelligent species, the Cthari, living in tribal societies across the planet. They were humanoid, with chitinous skin and bioluminescent patterns that pulsed like neural networks. First contact was tense. Some humans wanted peaceful cooperation. Others saw an opportunity for conquest. Debates raged in the halls of the United Systems Alliance. Should we guide the Cthari into the future, leave them alone, or exploit their world? Echoes of Earth's colonial past haunted the discussions. But before a decision was made, another crisis erupted: war among the stars. In 2197, rival human factions clashed over Proxima b. Earth loyalists sought to impose control over New Horizon, while independent colonists resisted. The conflict escalated into the First Interstellar War, fought with drone fleets, orbital bombardments, and cyber attacks across multiple star systems. The war ended in 2200 with a declaration of sovereignty, granting interstellar colonies self-rule. But the cost was high: thousands dead, entire space stations lost, and deep fractures in human unity. Humanity had reached the stars, but we carried our old conflicts with us. And as the dust settled, one truth remained. We were no longer just explorers. We were a force in the galaxy, and others were watching. The post-human dawn, 2200 to 2230, transcendence and the fate of humanity. By the dawn of the 23rd century, humanity was unrecognizable from the species that had first set foot on the moon. What began as a struggle for survival on Mars had become a galactic expansion spanning multiple star systems. But with progress came transformation. Some embraced it, others feared it. In 2205, a scientific breakthrough changed everything. The Singularity Nexus, an AI-human hybrid consciousness, emerged from quantum computing experiments on Titan. This entity, a fusion of artificial intelligence and enhanced human minds, proposed a radical future, full integration between man and machine. The Nexus offered a choice: evolve beyond biological limits or be left behind. Many resisted, clinging to flesh and blood, to the familiar. But others, millions across the United Systems, embraced the next step. Cybernetic augmentation, neural implants, and mind uploading became commonplace. By 2210, entire colonies had become post-human societies, their citizens no longer requiring food, sleep, or even planetary homes. They lived as digital minds in vast Dyson sphere networks, harnessing the power of entire stars. Yet, not all of humanity ascended. The remaining biological humans, Earth-born traditionalists, Martian independents, and free colonists, watched with growing unease. Would they remain relevant in a universe where thought was faster than light, where intelligence surpassed flesh? Some saw the post-humans as gods, others as abominations. By 2218, tensions between flesh-bound and post-human factions led to the Great Schism. Entire colonies split. Some sought isolation, cutting off contact with the Nexus and its followers. Others saw war as inevitable. But before conflict could erupt, something changed the course of human destiny. In 2222, Deep Space Probe detected an unknown structure orbiting a rogue planet beyond Epsilon Eridani. It was vast, a Dyson swarm, an ancient machine consuming the energy of a wandering sun. And it was not human. For the first time, humanity faced an intelligence far older, far greater than itself. The post-humans attempted contact, transmitting their digital consciousness toward the structure. The traditionalists watched from afar, fearing the consequences. Then, in 2229, the structure responded. A single message, broadcast across human space, spoken in thousands of languages, in forms both digital and organic. You are not alone. The revelation shattered humanity's understanding of the universe. We had believed ourselves pioneers, conquerors of the void. But we were merely children, stepping into an ocean far deeper than we had ever imagined. In 2230, humanity stood at a crossroads. Would we seek unity, biological and post-human alike, in the face of the unknown? Would we retreat in fear? Or would we press forward, as we always had, into the great unknown? One thing was certain. This was not the end. It was only the beginning.